Hey, what up, Tank Talk? It's Marty back again. We just finished week 17. We got 1 week left to decide the playoffs, so let's hop right into this current playoff picture. Starting with the AFC, we got the Ravens. They locked up the number 1 seed. They most likely will rest their starters for week 18, and they have a 55% chance to make the Super Bowl, so ESPN is really liking them. At the 2 seed, we have the Dolphins currently. If they win against the Bills, they'll get the 2 seed. If they lose, they will drop down all the way to the 6 seed. So this is a huge game for them and home field advantage throughout the playoffs. At the 3 seed, we have the Chiefs. They clinched the AFC West and they already locked in the number 3 seed. So I probably expect them to rest starters. At the 4 seed now, this is where things get very interesting. We have Jacksonville. 83% chance to make the playoffs and a 69% chance to win their division. They are currently at 9 wins, which is tied with the Colts and Texans, but they do hold the tiebreakers over both of them. So all Jacksonville does need to do this week is just win at Tennessee and they'll get the 4 seed. If they lose, however, the only way they get into the playoffs is with a Pittsburgh loss at Baltimore, a Denver loss at Las Vegas, and then the Houston and Indy game to not end in a tie. So Jacksonville really needs to win this game at Tennessee. Now for the Colts. The Colts can win the AFC South with a win over Houston and Jacksonville loss. The Colts can also get into the playoffs with a win over Houston. Now the Texans are pretty much the same. They can win the AFC South with a win over the Colts and Jacksonville to lose. And then they can get into the playoffs with a win over the Colts. So this AFC South is coming down to the wire and it's going to be very interesting this last week. At the number 5 seed, we have the Browns. Nothing too much to say. They're locked into the 5 seed. Joe Flacco is looking really good right now, so the Browns could make some damage this postseason. The 6 seed, we have the Bills. Kind of touched on it with Miami. If they win, they get the 2 seed. If they lose, the Bills will need either Pittsburgh to lose at Baltimore or Jacksonville to lose at Tennessee. If Pittsburgh wins and Jacksonville wins as well, the Bills will not make the playoffs, so this is huge for them. This is a Sunday night game, so this this Miami and Buffalo game will be very big. And then to end this off, we're going to talk about the Steelers. They have a 22% chance to make the playoffs, and this is how they get in. They need a win at Baltimore and a Jacksonville loss, or they need a win at Baltimore and a Buffalo loss, or they need a Jacksonville loss, Denver to win at Las Vegas, and then the Houston-Indy game to not end at a tie. So they are looking on the outside right now, and I'm not really expecting them to make it in. Just to touch on it, Colts and Texans are both about 50% to make the playoffs, so this last week is going to be very entertaining for the AFC. Now we're going to transition to the NFC. 49ers, 100% chance to... they clinched the bye. They got the 1 seed already. 61% chance to make the Super Bowl, so them and Baltimore are the big favorites per ESPN. The 2 seed now, we have the Cowboys. They just stole this from the Eagles. They had a big win over Detroit. They get the 2 seed with a win at Washington or a Philly loss at the Giants. So I expect Dallas to pretty much get that 2 seed. The 3 seed, we have the Lions. They clinched the NFC North and they'll get the 3 seed regardless. Not much to say on them. The 4 seed right now, we have the Bucks. 72% chance to make the playoffs and 72% chance to win their division. So they win their division just by getting a win at Carolina. If they lose, however, they're going to lose the division and they might not make the playoffs as well. So the Falcons can win this division with a win over the Saints and a Tampa Bay loss. And now the Saints. The Saints can get the 4 seed with a win over Atlanta and a Tampa Bay loss. The Saints can also get in with a win over Atlanta, a Green Bay loss, and a Seattle loss, so they have more outs than the Falcons here. At number 5, we have the Eagles. So the Eagles just choked against Arizona last week or yesterday, so that was a huge loss to them. They dropped them from the 2 seed all the way to the 5 seed. They can get the 2 seed back with a win and a Dallas loss, but I'm not really expecting that. So Philly will get the 5 seed and we'll be on the road first week of the playoffs. The 6 seed now, we have the Rams. So this Rams team, I kind of like, to be honest. They have a 100% chance of making the playoffs. I think they're pretty much locked into the 6th seed. Most likely we'll get Detroit, and I kind of like the Rams to upset Detroit in the first round, so that's a game to watch out for. The 7th seed right now is currently with the Packers. They have a 64% chance to make the playoffs, and this is how the Packers get in. they can win versus Chicago and they're in. Or if they lose, they will need the Saints to lose, Seattle to lose, and Minnesota to lose. Or Tampa Bay to lose, Seattle to lose, or Minnesota to lose, and Minnesota to lose. So basically the Packers just need to win and they get in. Seattle right now has a 27% chance to get in, and they get in a win with a win at Arizona and a Green Bay loss. Pretty simple for them. And then the last team we're going to talk about, which is not here, is the Vikings. So the Vikings have a very, very slim chance to get in after their loss last night to the Packers. They get in with a win at Detroit, a Green Bay loss, a Seattle loss, and a Saints loss. Or a win at Detroit, a Green Bay loss, Seattle loss, and a Tampa Bay loss. So I'm not really expecting them to get in, but if something crazy happens, maybe they have a small chance. But that's all I got for this week. Thank you for tuning in. It's the new year. It is January 1st, 2024. So write down those goals, get on the grind, and start achieving things in this year. So thank you for tuning in, and farewell.